Hey, it kept the background. I wonder why. I don't think it kept the back. I don't think it kept the background last week.
I don't think so, but that's fine. It looks better.
Yeah. Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to Yakin About Nothing once again. We lied on what we were going to talk about today. Last week, we've changed it because neither was prepared at all. I actually totally forgot about it till Dan asked me at 12 o'clock, hey, are we going to do a show? It's like, oh, yeah, we should do.
Oh, yeah, that thing. Yeah.
So today, what we'll do is we are going to talk about something every single person in this world has, and that is insecurities, as you can tell by the thumbnail. I have insecurities doing this show every week. I'm sure Dan has insecurities about doing this show every week, too.
Less and less as we
Less
go.
and less. That's good. That's good.
But it's always taking that first kind of step because
when you stop giving it, damn, you don't.
You took the words right out of my mouth. When you stop worrying about, well, someone on the internet world might find it offensive or
don't give a shit.
Yeah,
so, disclaimer, as always, I do this every week. Disclaimer: if you are offended by woke, right-wing, God-loving, gun-toting, can't stand Gavin Newsom kind of people, you're going to want to leave. Because that's who we are.
Anti-feminism.
Anti-feminism. Right. Pro-Israel. There's one right there. Pro-Israel.
Yeah.
If you're one of them, you know.
Other ones, if you think it's okay to mutilate children to change their gender, you can.
Right. Any of that.
You're going to get offended. You think that ripping apart unborn children
if you're
is okay.
You got purple hair, blue hair, any color besides brown, blonde, or red. Get the hell out of here. We don't want.
There are some people that might have that. Yeah.
Well.
Oh, those Christians are
not anymore.
No, I mean, well, maybe, but there's truth and there's not truth, and so there's no such thing as your truth.
I mean.
But how do I feel? I need to feel. I don't care. Your feelings are irrelevant. They're temporary for a reason, just like mine are.
Yeah. Also, if you're a furry, get the hell out of here.
Okay, we're moderately joking.
We're joking.
A couple of things.
Not on the furry.
No, we still love our neighbor. But actually, those people that we just mentioned, they don't know what a joke is. So, all right. Anyway.
Well, no, that's because they're back in the corner in the litter box. Of course, they don't know what the joke is.
Animals don't know, yeah.
All right. Oh, kidding aside.
YouTube's going to go ahead and...
kidding aside. Let's get this going. Okay, so talking about insecurities. This can go all kinds of ways.
It can.
I'll start with you. Yeah, broad topic. I'll start with you, Dan. What is your biggest insecurity? Period. Like, what's the biggest thing?
Man, I mean, if we're going like right now, you're speaking in
present context.
You're speaking in a present tense. Was provided. I still struggle with the one where I think that a lot of people simply don't care, or that they don't show that they care. Not everybody, just,
this day and age, I don't know if that's even an insecurity.
Because it is.
A lot of people don't care, so it's like.
Well, no, I mean, yeah, there is truth to it, but I think it would be when you kind of get into the realm of like assuming, or if people aren't doing what you think they should do, then they don't care, which is silly. But mine's rooted in an insecurity of like, because most of my life I've had that outside of like you and mom and dad and some family and a few friends here and there, and people, most people didn't care. Right. In school I was irrelevant, and I was told that on several occasions, maybe not that exact word.
Somebody actually went up to you and said, Dan, you're irrelevant?
No, they didn't use it. Well, no, they just didn't. That.
They just gave you the impression that that's what.
Well, no, it's literally like people would act like you're not there. Kind of stuff. Yeah. Actions and words actions can be louder. But I would say that's one that I still struggle with. It's not nearly as bad. But in a past tense, I could name off a bunch. Like, although even now, there is one other one. I still, once in a while, it's not that much, but I'll think that people maybe, that I'm not as much of a success because maybe I'm, not married or have children, but I know that's ridiculous.
Sure.
There's plenty of people that are married with children and plenty that aren't, and that's just how it is. But but in a past tense, geez Louise, well, being skinny and being told that repeatedly in school when I was short, also just thinking that people didn't care, when I was younger, not being invited to anything or all sorts of things. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, all the basic stuff everyone has,
Yeah. Well, the one that the Devils tried to throw at me this year was like being insecure because of being laid off and not having enough money, and then I do get a job and it's not some flashy title and all that, which I've never believed in that crap anyway. But the little things eke their way in, be like, oh, you work where? You work retail. Oh, like who gives a crap? I can pay.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully pay my bills.
Right.
But
that's really all that matters in the end. Now, I would say in today's world, I think there's a lot of people hiding their insecurities as opposed to like letting them out and talking about them. There's a lot of people that put on a front and, act big and bad and say, there's a huge religion of self going on right now, which I think is a lie because everybody has insecurities one way or another, So, I mean, you and I really don't have that problem. We are not really arrogant people to speak
certainly
of.
Try not to be. I'm more than aware of my insecurities and my screw-ups and my sins and my shortcomings and my transgressions. So it's kind of hard to be arrogant when you know how far you fall short every day.
Right. Right. I think the insecurities I have the most is like at work because I don't have. I mean, I have the experience, but I don't feel like I'm, I guess, as smart as some of the other people that I work with or whatever it could be. Or, I always think to myself like, well, are they watching me? Do they like what I'm doing? And it's like, I talk to my boss and in 2 minutes, that insecurity just goes away because he pumps me up and everything. But I think it's still, like you said, the devil has his way of working his way into things, even though they're good, which is kind of where the problem lies because you can sit there and God can tell you that you're doing good and God can lead you the right way, but there could be that one small doubt that creeps in and you're like, oh, that goes away,
Well, and you kind of hinted on it, but the quickest way to become insecure is comparison.
Right.
If you allow the idea of like, I'm not as smart as that guy, or I don't have a degree like that guy, or I don't have the job title of this person, or my family member makes this much more money than me, whatever it may be, or this big group of people asks everyone to do something except for me. It's such a breeding ground for that, and it's at the end of the day, none of it actually matters. That's the biggest part of it. Like none of it at the end of the day means anything. None of it.
No.
You can have your small little accolades and successes. Oh, you got a degree, great. You have a job title, great. You make this much money, great. Oh, now what? Like that's not the be all end all like people think it is. Oh yeah, look at how lavish vacation he went on. I wish I could do that. It doesn't really matter, does it?
Well, but it doesn't. But when you watch some of these videos and stuff like on Instagram, and they're out asking these girls, what do you find attractive, and right away they say the guy's got to make 6 figures. That kind of stuff like starts to seep in, and obviously not people you want to go around with.
I was just going to say those are. I will die happily single as opposed to someone that is that lost and confused.
Sure.
All their hopes and dreams and faith and happiness and all that is just simply in the stupid things of this world, which at the end of the day, most things in this world simply do not matter. I mean, if you read the book of Ecclesiastes, you'll come to realize that real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not, but the world is the world. It's the fallen world where it's the self-image and the image you want to portray of yourself to the world, and seeking approval of others or seeking affirmation from other people. It's an example of that would be on any social media platform, Facebook, whatever it may be, where
Absolutely.
when people post on there, they're only posting this extremely narrow lane of their life, meaning a vacation they went on, or the new car they got, or a party they had. But that's it. And so it projects to the audience, their friends, that their life is just great all the time. When in actuality, that's 1% of their life. The rest of it, the part they're not sharing, generally is not so great, good. It's not even mediocre. It's probably trouble, a lot of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of people aren't willing to show that because we have to project a certain image of ourselves to society. And that is an insecurity in its own right. And it's a con in a way. And there's no sincerity with it either.
Right.
I'd rather be the guy that just vents everything and say, here's where I screwed up, and tell 800 people. And generally they have more respect for you because they're going to be like, oh, this guy's keeping it real. This guy is an open book. He's not just putting this good things, there's struggles, there's suffering, there's shortcomings, there's hardship, there's depression, there's all sorts of things that people can have that they don't want to put out there. Oh, I got to look a certain way.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I used to think I used to care a lot about what people thought, but I've really tried to focus more now on, I care about what you and mom and dad and my wife and my kids and my in-laws think. And that's pretty much it. The rest, it's I'm going to do what I want to do. I mean, it's proof by this show that it's okay, we're going to say what we want to say the way we want to say it. If you get something out of it, great. If you don't, well, that's fine too. Because it's you're never going to please everybody. So why try? There's no sense in having insecurities about what people think about you, because you're never, ever going to please anybody or everybody at the same time or at any time. So it's my philosophy now is I'm not gonna try not to worry about it.
Well, that's right. And the way I think about what you just said is that, okay, if you're rooted in Christ like you should be, and your focus is on God, and one of your main goals is obedience to Him, then you don't even have to go out of your way to try to do anything for even family like you listed off, or close friends to get their approval. Because if you're doing God's will and you're living His truth, the truth, and you're being obedient to Him, His reaction to that is the right people in your life anyway. He's going to put them there anyway. So those people are going to, the right people, He puts them there anyway. So if you're being obedient to Him, He's got everything else taken care of. And so you don't have to go out around trying to impress those people or get their approval, because it's going to come naturally because God's placed them there.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like your community. And so it's it's pretty easy at the end of the day. I don't have to go out of my way to, impress your mom or your dad or your brother or your in-law or whoever, because if they're the right people that God wants there, He's already put them there, and you're trusting Him with that. And especially like-minded people, and people that have the same faith, obviously, it's you don't really have to do much.
No.
It's God takes care of the rest. You be obedient to Him, He takes care of everything else. You tell the truth, He takes care of everything else.
Well, and He'll
don't
also
have to put much effort or time into it.
Right. He'll also weed the bad people out for you too.
100%.
That's another thing.
Actually, that's probably the most important part.
It really is, because what'll happen is once that goes, I've lived this truth on YouTube itself. It's weeded out tons of people,
and you were not treated well.
right. So it's
understatement of the year.
It just takes care of itself, or not. God takes care of it. He's okay, you might, and it's a lesson. once you're in the middle of it and you're dealing with these kind of people, like, oh, wait a sec, maybe I shouldn't do this. And then you kind of look at it another way, like, well, it's not that big of a deal. But then you go back once they get weeded out, you're like, geez, why was I even worried about what, Tom Jones thought or Bill Schneider thought? Who cares? Because really at the end of the day, like you said, God's going to keep the people that matter in your life. And that's really what matters the most. The problem with social media nowadays is everybody's trying way too hard. It's like that girl that's, kind of the nerd that's trying to throw in all the makeup and stuff and have everybody like her, but they're liking her for something that's not real as opposed to something that is. That's why when I see, like I sent Dan this YouTube channel that I've been watching lately called Yee Life. These guys are Christian guys who live in South Texas who shoot things with higher and higher calibers to see if they can get it through. At the end, they use a 50 cal to see if they can blow through. Like yesterday, they got one of those big concrete target balls, right? 50 cal did a little bit of a number on it. But the point is, the guys aren't afraid to wear their Christian shirts. It's hilarious if you watch it because it's just there's no fake to it all. It's just genuine, good quality. The guys are very genuine. And it's like you don't have to sit there and question if these guys are being genuine, as opposed to almost every single toy channel I watch where the guys are fake as hell. So it's like I would much rather give my time and attention to someone who's genuine as opposed to someone who's trying to, be the next whatever they want to be.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, well, if you are a genuine person and you are, whether it's the list of people you just named off, whether it's a sibling or parents, in-laws, friends, whoever, if you are genuine and they know exactly where you stand on your beliefs and they know you're not budging on those, if they stick around, then they're for real. Yeah. But if they can't handle, Chris, you voted for Trump. Oh, I can't possibly be friends with someone like you. Well, then go.
Oh, man.
That's fine. I'm not mad at you. I'm not going to hold a grudge.
Right.
God bless you. May God help you. But I'm not chasing anybody. We aren't meant we don't chase people. And the good news is we never actually have to chase anything because we're not meant to chase people, but we never have to chase God. Like Christ leaves the 99 to get the one. The one sheep that goes astray, he'll leave the 99 sheep and he'll follow you and go get you and bring you back. Yep. And see, we don't have to do that. We like to think that we do at times. Or, I need to do more for this person. I need to give more to this person and more because I'm insecure. No. If your relationship, whatever title it may be, friendship, girlfriend, whatever, if your relationship hinges on how much you do for them, hello, red flag.
Well, you know what that ends up being too? That ends up being a reflection on their own insecurities. They need someone to sit there and say, oh, you're just perfect. You know what? I'll do whatever I got to do for you so I can kiss your ass and we can be friends. I'll do anything. And it's like, if you need to do that, run, boy, run. Because that is an absolute no way. That's another thing that people don't get nowadays is a friendship, relationship, even brother, like Dan and I. If it was a thing where I texted Dan all the time and he never responded, that's not a very healthy relationship. Dan and I text back and talk back all the time, and we both initiate. Just like me and my family, Dan and our cousins and everybody else. It's like it has to be a 50-50 thing. Because if not, you're really just honing into everybody else's insecurities because ultimately they think they're too good for you. And they think that you need to bend over backwards for them.
Well, because their first priority is themselves.
Right?
Because, like you just said, which is actually insecurity, because there's an overcompensation there, and a lot of times it can be caused by childhood trauma. They're trying to get something back that they've lost, if you will.
Yep.
And it's abuse into someone else, and there is a massive insecurity and. A lot of the times these insecurities come in and people just don't even know they're there and they don't know why. I mean, God help those people. But, like you're right. Like people, the people that should be in your life are the ones that want to reject you, that want you there. They simply want you. They want your time. That's the only thing they'll ever want from you.
Yep.
Is your time. It's the only thing
It's
they
the old
ask
saying,
for.
be around people that build you up, not tear you down. Dad, mom and dad always used to tell us that. Be around people that build you up, not tear you down. You know, they'd probably
People that
have a
tell
lot
you the
to
hard
say about
truths. People that
we hung out with some people who tore us down when we were teenagers and when we were kids and stuff. And they tried to tell us, we didn't listen. And, you know, as adults, we say, okay, well, you were right. You know, so it's that thing where find the people that are going to bring you up, not bring you down. Because ultimately, when the people that are bringing you down, they're bringing you down to their own level, which is already horrible.
Misery loves company idea.
Yeah. What do you think the difference between being insecure and being not confident is? Do you think there's a difference?
No, because I don't necessarily like the idea of saying where people, they'll say the phrases like, oh, believe in yourself or be confident in yourself. Like, what are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the problem. Like, no, it's I believe in myself. What are you talking about? We don't have our own strength, our own ability, our own knowledge, our own wisdom. I mean, that's just nonsense. I mean, it always goes back to knowing exactly who and seeing yourself as God sees you and knowing your identity in Jesus Christ, because without him, your identity is going to be shaped by the world. And you really don't have control of that. You can manipulate and try to do it, and then you become a narcissist and things like that.
Well, and that's exactly what's going on. Yeah.
An insecure train wreck. I mean, and your views are going to change with the direction of which that the wind is blowing. Or I think in the Bible it refers to it like go with the crashing waves, the direction of the waves. And you have no foundation.
Right.
Your foundation is appeasing people. Well, okay, let's do some quick math. There's over 8 billion people in the world. How are you going to get all of them to like you? Mm-hmm. You're not. You have Buddhists, you have Muslims, you have atheists, you have Christians, you have Democrats, you have Republicans, you have pro-life people, you have pro-choice people, you have black people, you have white people, you have so many different things. You could get everyone's approval, but then you're going to meet the last guy that you need to get approval from, and he says, no, it's not vanilla ice cream, idiot. It's chocolate. Right. I'm done with you. And it's like, what are you actually chasing? It's this infinite chase of confidence through others, which would be insecurity, because you're allowing other people to justify your existence and how important your existence is, and even to an extent your purpose. My purpose is to get everyone's approval. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that is the quickest way to make life become without God, and chasing the approval of others is the quickest way to make life become meaningless, because it's something that's not obtainable. You're just wasting your time. Yeah. You're wasting your life. I mean, it's pretty scary and quite the rabbit hole when you think about it.
You know, on the other side, though, there's also people who live their entire lives. They're so insecure that they want everybody to feel the way they do. So they, in turn, do the opposite and cut everybody down as much as possible.
Uh-huh.
So you'll see a lot of that on social media, too. Once you go and get on the Denver Broncos page, everybody's an NFL expert.
Well, every one of those people is more than qualified to be an NFL head coach.
You're right.
Okay,
call the plays, throw the passes, all of it.
Yeah. They could do better.
Too, where we live in a world too where it's okay. I want to be so confident and whatever it is. I want to be so secure in myself. A lot of people will say that too, and like I said before, that's a lie. But there's other people that are like, well, I'm just going to tear everybody down, show everybody that I'm right because I'm the only one that's right. So they have the exact opposite outlook on life, where they're like, I'm going to be the biggest ass I can, tear everyone down, show everybody that they're wrong, show everybody how insecure they should be and how great I am. And it's like, I've seen both sides of that. Mm-hmm. And it's
those are the most insecure people there are, though. That's the irony.
Exactly.
You can be extremely arrogant and insecure at the exact same time.
Most of the people that are extremely arrogant are the exact,
because they have no idea who they are or what their purpose is or how God sees them or what God has done for them.
Right.
That's what it boils down to. They think it's all a me show. Me. I have to project how great I am. even though I hate myself. Like, well, how does that work? That doesn't really work. Like, I'm going to prove to everyone how wonderful I'm going to be arrogant and brash and show off and be loud and tear other people down, like you're saying, all while I hate myself and don't know who I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
and I would say one way for somebody, because we want to kind of get to a point here where it's like, okay, if somebody is dealing with insecurities, what is some ways to get them to be better about that?
Well, I think the very first thing is to crucify the flesh. And by that, I mean, get over yourself. Your life is not your own, and you're not going to, you're never going to get the approval of the world. I mean, accepting that would be nice. But, you know, you have to, sorry, dog's jumping up. People need to drop the idea of self-confidence and approval of others and believing in themselves. It's like when it's rooted in you, you have to get yourself rooted in something else, not yourself.
Yeah.
And that something else would be Christ. That's it. He's the only way. John 14:60 says that. I am the way, the truth, and the life. No one comes to the Father but by me. And so, how can you have self-confidence from yourself, even though you're insecure and you're flawed? It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
I'm going to give myself advice to help myself and feed into myself and then fix myself, even though I hate myself. It's so absurd when we.
I believe in myself so much, I'm going to tear myself down, then build myself right back up, and then we'll be good.
But I don't know who I am. And so I lie to everybody, and I put on a different face and personality based on who I'm talking to.
Right.
I mean, but that's what's interesting. When you sit here and say this out loud, you realize this is what most people do. And we've all done it.
When you break it down, it's kind of ridiculous. Because
it's insanity. It's lunacy.
It is lunacy.
Like, believe in yourself. What are you talking about? I do not belong to myself. This body is not mine. Okay, I didn't give myself talents. I didn't give myself knowledge. I didn't give myself wisdom. I didn't give myself the people around me. I didn't give myself finances. I didn't give myself skills. I didn't give myself ability, such as sight, hearing, the ability to consume and understand things, the ability to read, on and on and on. I didn't do any of those things for myself. I didn't give myself anything. They're all from God. You go to the one that made them and gave them to you. You were made in his image. You're not made in your own image. It's like,
but that's
so,
like I've said before, the religion itself is running so rampant. This is actually what people believe, though. This is what actually.
Well, because you know why? Because they've never broken it down. Because the self is too strong, and the arrogance and insecurity are too strong to evaluate it and to actually think about it and seek discernment about it. Because that would go against the religion of self itself. You see? So you
can't blame yourself. If you worship yourself, you can't blame yourself.
Correct. And you can't question yourself. So you have to be all-knowing and all-powerful and always right and above others and always projecting that you've got it all.
Which in turn shows a lack of insecurity.
Man, this is groundbreaking stuff here. I mean, that's what the devil does, though. It's always just a small tweak of words, and he doesn't. The devil does not give wisdom, and he does not give knowledge. He just lies and he twists things.
Right.
And so when you believe the lies and the twisting, that means you're feeding into and believing and probably projecting the lies and feeding into his BS, essentially.
Right.
But without truth,
there's a reason that a certain party, you know what party I'm talking about, will do the things they do. Okay? A certain party will do the things they do. They will feed into insecurities for a reason. They will tell you that Donald Trump is public enemy number one and everything else, because what he does is he goes into people's insecurities and, supposed insecurities, I will say. There's people that will base their entire life thinking that every issue, every problem, every single thing they're going through is Donald Trump's fault.
Right.
Right. So that is a product of your own insecurity because, once again, you don't want to take responsibility for something that you're insecure about, that you could do something about. It's much easier to blame somebody else. This is almost like blaming an inanimate object to a point. It's like me looking at this chair saying, "Chair, it's your fault that I can't lose 500 pounds."
Anybody's fault but your own, including an inanimate object.
It's your own insecurities that are coming out when you see what Donald Trump says, and it infuriates you. You start going nuts, and you go change your hair from purple to hot pink. That's what's getting you all crazy, is your own insecurities, and people hate an authority figure. See, it's kind of like when you get in trouble and your mom says, "Wait till your dad gets home." Well, guess who dad is? Well, Papa Trump is dad. So the point is, again, the devil likes to use these things and twist and turn things to where, once again, I take all the blame, all the responsibility of myself, and I inflict it onto somebody else. Therefore, I'm no longer responsible. All my emotions, all my insanity, me throwing Molotov cocktails at Radio Shack, not my fault. Trump's fault.
Someone else's fault.
Someone else's fault. Right.
And that's actually a very good example because, and Mom and Dad and I talk about this, where people have TDS, Trump derangement syndrome.
Right.
And like you say, they blame literally everything. And here's the other, I'll start with this. There's always a new thing. Every day that, we need to be upset about this that Trump did. Oh, now it's this that Trump did. And every day it's something new. So these, number one, these people are not rooted in any foundation. Okay, there's no real belief structure of any kind. Secondly, I would say, who did they blame for their problems in pre-2015? And who were they be able to blame for their problems between 2021 and 2024 when Trump was not president?
Well, there was still.
And who are they going to blame when he leaves office? Because these people didn't just wake up one day and be like, Donald Trump's the cause of all my problems in life, before and after his presidency.
It's a slow burn where they have to instill it in you, and they have to implement it into you.
And what do we do to deflect anyone questioning? Oh, you're a racist. Oh, you're a bigot. Oh, you're this. Name call.
Let's take an example. So let's take an example of the people that let them do that and the people that don't. Okay, so George Floyd gets whatever you want to say about him. Okay, what happens? They burn cities. Some people died. They burn cars. And what do they call it? Peaceful protest, right? Okay, so that's the side that we got for that. Charlie Kirk died. What happens? Did you see any of that stuff going on?
A lot of candle vigils, prayers, going back to church.
Now, I did see some of the people here. Some of the people here that were doing the George Floyd thing decided to insert themselves and disgrace and destroy memorials that this side built in the first place. So the point is, this side has no higher thing to answer to. This side does. There's moral compass on this side. There's not on this side.
Correct. That's very good. And I'll put a little bit more on top of that. They see more and more people doing all that bad stuff, and so they have no foundation of their own. So they feel that, I can go and join the current thing, no matter how bad it may be, and be outraged like everybody else, selective outrage, fake outrage, and I can be part of something, and then I can look like a good person. And then more and more people just get invested in that because they think it makes them look good. It's a virtue signaling thing, and they don't actually care. It's about looking self-righteous.
Right.
Because, Donald Trump, mad, me angry, give me a break.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, too. A great example of that is with ICE. Barack Obama used ICE and deported over 5 million people. No one gave a rat's ass.
Yep.
No one. But because it's the current thing and we're insecure and we don't have any foundation, and unfortunately, God help them, a lot of these people are lost people.
Yes.
They just dive right in. I hate ICE too suddenly. What? You don't even know what that really is. You don't know what a fascist is. You don't know. It's just sheer ignorance to try to look good to other people. It's being
exactly. And the sad thing about that, a lot of these people on this side, the George Floyd side that I was talking about, are believers, are Christians.
Well, you can say you're in anything. I can say I'm in
I know, but
true.
what I'm saying is, even if you say it, speak it with your mouth, declare it with your mouth.
Yeah.
Like you are taking your own insecurities, because that's absolutely where it's rooted at. You're letting that and your need to be liked, your need to be inclusive, and all these bullshit words that they use all the time.
Well, they want to look good.
We're in this together, inclusive, tolerance, all those bullshit words they like to use. But what's happening is you're taking that and you're taking that. So God's here. You're taking that and you're putting it here.
Correct.
Even though you claim to be a believer and you claim to follow the word and you claim to do everything else. Hey, I went to church, so that okays me to go up here and do that. And it's like, well, then, that's how bad. That's why we're talking about this. That's how bad insecurities and the need to be liked and the whole feeling of inclusiveness can be. You'll trump your own God and your old religion just to go out there with all the, whoever they are and throw Molotov cocktails around and burn things down. And it's like that need to be included is that much in you where you're just going to knock down literally every foundation that you claim to have.
Yeah, because the desire for that righteousness, they're trying to find that self-righteousness, trying to give themselves and make themselves look righteous in a world that has no righteousness. So it's an endless chase that will never be achieved because the only righteous one is Christ. And Christians aren't, the only reason we have righteousness is because we follow the righteous one. So his righteousness is then projected onto us, not because of anything we do or did or say or haven't done or have done. It's because of Christ. See, so when you don't have him, you're chasing something that simply does not exist. The world does not have righteousness. This is a sinful, fallen, dying world, which is going to die, which is going to end, which we will be remade. It has no righteousness of its own. And our actions have no righteousness of their own. Our protests, there's no righteousness in that. Having an abortion, there's no righteousness in that. No. Feminism, there's no righteousness in that. Watching an LGBT parade, there's no righteousness in that. Me actually helping an old lady cross the street, that's not actually righteous. It's not my righteousness. The only reason I might do certain things is because of God's influence and abiding in his word. But if I'm doing something for myself, even a kind gesture, that's still emptiness. That's still not righteous. So it's like all these things are completely meaningless. And they're actually achieving nothing other than their own destruction and slow burn demise because they're chasing something that simply doesn't exist, which is fulfillment, righteousness, holiness, goodness in this world. There's no goodness or any of those things I just listed outside of the kingdom of God, outside of Christ himself. Those things don't exist. This is the devil's world. And so it's the epitome of that hamster on the wheel. He could get off the wheel, but he doesn't because he's gonna keep running. Eventually he'll become righteous if he runs enough. It's like, no. Yeah.
I mean, it's like
he'll kill himself. He'll die eventually.
Yeah, it's like when you hear the millionaires, the millionaires or the billionaires, whatever you want to call them, they'll keep buying stuff and they're like, just never happy, just never happy. You see football players who were playing back in the day, blew through like $80 million. How did you do that? Well, because you kept buying things to try to fill a void that was there.
Correct.
Things didn't work, so you went to hookers. That didn't work, so you went to drugs. That didn't work. Now you're broke, and you got nothing. So because you tried to fill the void that was unfillable by anything, like Dan said, in this world. Nothing can replace God when it comes to righteousness and fulfillment in one person.
Right.
So
because nothing in this world elevates you and saves you and fixes you. It's not normal to walk around miserable and completely livid and angry and insecure and hating people and cheering people's deaths on and things like that. That's not normal. That's not normal. That is not the intent of this life.
Purely demonic.
That's the stuff we're supposed to turn away from and give up. And so all insecurity is rooted, because you kind of just gave the answer with all that, all insecurity is rooted in lack of faith in Christ.
Yes.
No matter how small it is. Oh, well,
Right.
even if you're, for believers, including you and me, oh, well, God can do all these amazing things, but he couldn't possibly fix this one thing in my life, or he can't help me overcome this guy calling me skinny, So I'm going to
like what we talked about last week. Yeah.
And be insecure and be a whiny little,
Yeah.
It's just so ridiculous.
Well, it's like what we talked about last week with the worry. See, I still occasionally worry. Worry is also a form of insecurity.
Yeah.
You're worried about something because you're not sure if it's something that you can handle, you can do, or someone else can do. That's what the definition of worry is. Okay.
Right.
So, damn it, I lost my train of thought. Crap. I totally lost it. Anyway.
Well, sorry to hear that, but I will make a point, and if you get it back, let me know. Cut me off. A lot of insecurity comes in the sense that people think this life should be free of suffering and hardship, too.
No.
And Pastor Philip Anthony Mitchell, I saw a little clip that he posted the other day, and it was so eye-opening. He's like, sometimes God will actually allow suffering in the Christian's life because he trusts you with that suffering. He knows you can be an example of someone that will get through it and that will have the faith to get through it. And he will be able to use that for his glory, God will. And then it builds you up at the same time.
Sure.
And so when the Christian comes in and believes that suffering is very beneficial and hardship and not getting our way and not getting all the things we pray for and things not going our way all the time, that's actually not a good thing, but a great thing. As opposed to being insecure that God hates me and he doesn't want me to have this and he doesn't want me to have that and he's turning his back on me and blah, blah, blah. And he's going to let me suffer, blah, blah, blah. No.
Yeah.
It's completely ridiculous because God has it all worked out. He has every last little thing. Nothing catches him by surprise. Nothing ever has, nothing ever will. Remember, we are his creation. Now, human beings are the greatest creation. In fact, in Ephesians, he calls us our masterpiece, people.
Mm-hmm.
We're above the animals. And to an extent, we have an even slight advantage on the angels because the angels believe in God because they're with God. We believe in God out of faith. We don't see him.
Yep.
And so it's like, we're a big deal to God. But that's not enough for people. They have to be a big deal to everyone else.
Yeah.
And they have to be a big deal and get their way.
Yeah.
But it's like, it's just a matter of faith and believing what God says about you, or you can choose not to. And then you can go around and believe what every person says about you, which I guarantee isn't going to be all good.
Yeah. So you actually brought me back to it. Faith is exactly what I was going to get into. It's like, with the insecurity, it shows a lack of faith. It shows a lack of trust in God himself. If you are a believer, if you're not, well, you should be, because it would be a lot easier for you if you were, or not. But what it will do is it will instill faith into you. I think you're always going to have an insecurity about one thing or another certain times in your life. I think that's just a human element that's always going to happen. Now, how far you let that go is really going to be based on your own faith. They talked about that in the sermon at the church I go to last Sunday or a couple Sundays ago. They were talking about faith and they're like, how do you know if you have true faith or not? Because there's a lot of people out there that have fake faith. They'll have faith when things, like you said, are going your way and everything's hunky-dory and blah, blah, blah. But the point of the sermon was, do you have faith when things are bad? Do you have faith when, you lose your job? Do you have faith when your kid's sick? Do you have faith when you're getting divorced? Do you have faith in all these things? I've had to have faith in my life many times. There's been times where me and my wife, when we first got married, didn't know if we're going to make it month to month. But like we say now, if it ever looks like that, I'd be like, well, God's got it. We already know that. We're not even worried about it. We're not even sweating it. There's times where the kids get sick and we're like, geez, I hope they're going to be okay. And it's like, I've never had to take my kids to an emergency room or something like that where I was like, oh boy, I don't know about this. We've always had faith that it's going to work out. And then eventually what happens is the insecurities turn into just straight faith. Now it's like, if a month's hard, to be like, okay, well, a month's hard, so but I have faith that the next one's going to be better. And you know what? It usually is. It usually works itself out. Usually gets better. And it's like with Dan. Dan, I've been praying for Dan a lot lately because Dan's had a rough year. But I've had faith, and I keep praying to God, saying, please open doors for Dan. Dan's had doors open this week because
I have.
he's had things go through, and Dan's talent in his shop and everything that he does is undeniable, to where it's like there's no way that people can't see this,
Right.
And now it works. It's the biggest problem is it's not in our timing, so we get pissed and we say, man, we're like the kid in Toys R Us that's 2 years old. Not in the
Fall on the ground, kicking and screaming.
The point of having faith too is always being patient, because you got to stick with it, and you got to say, okay, I know these doors are open, and if they don't open, there's a reason why they don't open. Or if they close, there's a
Sometimes
reason.
we're just simply not ready as people to receive whatever blessing God has.
Right.
And there has to be a work in our hearts and get us in the right place. I mean, whether people like it or not, Christians or other, and we have no ability, we should have no ability to even question this or question God. His time, his place, his way, the people he wants to work through, who, what, when, where, why, that's all up to him. Not you, not me. We don't force the issue. And if we try to force the issue, it crashes.
Well, that's where the free will comes in. We have a say to a point, but it's like, you better be careful how you use that. You got to be careful how you use the free will, because God's not going to stop you 100%.
No.
He's not going to stop you. You can do what you want. You can tear him down. You can call him every name in his book. You can denounce him. You can say, I'm done with you. That's your free will as a human being. I wouldn't recommend it, but
no.
The other thing that you have as a human with the free will is to listen to people that have been through this. Once again, like I always say, Dan and I have been through all this. I've been divorced. Dan has been engaged and it blew up in his face. We've lost jobs. I have kids. Dan is single. We've had family things. We've had people die. We've had all these things. We've had, Dan and I both know several people in the Honda industry that have died in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
We didn't think that was going to happen, but we know that was God's plan. We know that at somewhere, some junction or another, like you said last week, shit happens, and for us to question why those things happen is in tune a lack of faith. So,
yeah. I mean, it's not easy, and like Apostle Paul says, that our life and our faith and growing in all of these things, it's not a sprint, it's a long race. And like you said that earlier, kind of where, you're not just going to wake up one day and be completely free of every insecurity ever and be good the rest of your life. Well, there's the Christian life. If pastors kept it real, they wouldn't say that the Christian life is like this. You're always just kind of ascending and it's just no trouble. Not at all. There might be ascension. There should be, but it's like,
it's a roller coaster.
I'll draw it out. Like the top example that I'm drawing out is like how Western Christians project that God's plan for your life is. The bottom example is what it really is.
Right.
So
exactly.
This wimpy pansy Jesus has loved Christianity and everything. I just prayed a prayer and accepted Jesus and it's all perfect. And rainbows and sunshine. I never had a problem in my life.
Yes.
All my insecurities are gone. No, that's not how it works, man. You invite Christ for real. You don't invite him in. He's inviting you. You are going to have to accept him. We want to elevate ourselves there. But once that happens, he's going to have tests for you. But also, when the world realizes that you are a follower of Christ, the devil goes on the attack. And he uses plenty of people and
Sure.
circumstances and jobs and
Yep.
potentially marriages, bosses. He uses them to get at you, boy. And it's all directions. It's coming from the bottom, from the top, from the left, from the right, wherever. And it's a, you know, a lot of those things can create insecurity.
Yeah.
Everyone's after me. Everything's after me. Well, you know, so when your eyes are not on Christ, because if people would actually just read read the actual Bible, all the things that God says about people, they think God is mean and judgmental and full of wrath. Well, he's not mean. He is the judge, and he does have a little bit of wrath. But when he, like I said earlier in Ephesians 2:10, when he says that people are his masterpiece,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one example of probably thousands where, you know, Jeremiah 1:5 I wrote down here. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you.
Right.
He cared about you and loved you before you were even knit together in your mother's womb. You know, he is our refuge, our strength. I mean, not only that, let's use Christ as the example of literally God in the flesh dying on a cross and suffering the worst death of all time for us.
Yeah.
But that's not enough to make us feel secure.
Right.
What Bob said down the street about my new curtains I hung up, that's where I feel good now.
You don't understand, God. You don't live next to Bob.
Yeah, Bob, he's a tough.
He's a real ass.
Yeah, but it's very interesting when we sit here and say it out loud.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people don't. Like you said before, that's why a lot of people don't. Because if you do, then you have to deal with that. You have to deal with the behavior. You have to deal with that insecurity that you're not following something you claim to follow. I do that, you know.
Correction and change come in then.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in order to be corrected and to change, you have to admit that you did something wrong to begin with. That's where most people are like, I'm done.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny, like I'll use an example, like on Facebook, like there's posts about, oh, gas prices are lowest and they've been in 4 years. And you have people in the comments and saying, no, they're not. Or they put a laugh emoji. And it's just like, it's a fact that in most places, gas prices have plummeted in the last 6 months because of Trump policy. But you're so insecure and you cannot give that man one bit of credit that you will deny reality itself. Because if you say, yeah, they are, then we know that comes back around to saying, maybe Trump was right about something. So that means I voted against him and I've been doing nothing but hate on him. So that would make me wrong to at least a small capacity. So therefore, let's just keep quadrupling down on this insanity and say, no, gas isn't cheaper. There's videos, there's photos.
I mean, there's things that have happened that have been right in front of your face that they claim is not in front of your face.
Because the pride and insecurity, it runs so deep that if they admit that something did go right, then that means that maybe they made a mistake and they can't do that. And so they will keep doubling down over and over and over, and to the point where it's just like in 2 Timothy says, there's no truth in these people. That's where the rabbit hole this crap can lead you down.
Right.
They're incapable of the truth anymore because their own insecurity and pride at the same time is running so deep.
Well, why do you think New York voted for a socialist? People want to be told what to do in their lives because they can't figure it out for themselves. So it's easier for us to vote for a democratic socialist who will cause a 15-minute city to where you have to stay in a confined area with everything around you, can't leave, going to be monitored, going to be given certain amount of money, certain amount of time you can be out, certain amount of places you can go, certain amount of things you can buy, blah, 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 blah. Everything's run by somebody else. Ultimately, that's what they want. Because what does it do again? Same thing we've said. It takes all the responsibility and everything off me. Because now they're telling me what I got to do, so I just do it. And if something goes wrong, it's their fault. They told me it's not my fault.
Yeah. Well, there's no work involved. There's no change involved. It's the Papa government's going to take care of me. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to think for myself.
Right.
It's easier.
Easier.
And it's all the symptoms of the same problem. All of these things
Yeah.
are the symptoms of the same issue: lack of God, lack of Christ, and this is what you get. And it never ends well.
No.
What do we know?
No. I mean, thousands of years we've been dealing with this, and it never ends well.
Yeah. And
we
it will
get
keep
frustrated
going
by it.
until
Imagine how
Christ
God
returns.
feels. Look how frustrated we get about it, because we do it too. Again, we do it too. We both do it. We both have bad days where we say, we're mad about this, mad about that, mad because somebody did something at work or somebody said something, But the thing is, Dan and I both have a good foundation. It's like, I don't know what the scripture is, but there is a scripture in the Bible that says you can have, different types of foundation for your life. You can build it by the beach, in the sand, where all the waves come crashing up. See what kind of foundation that leaves you. Eventually you're going to sink in. The whole foundation is going to collapse and your whole house is going to go. Or you get concrete, solid rock, cinder blocks, build it up, solid foundation. That foundation would be God, and nothing can knock it down. The winds come, the waves crash, nothing knocks it down. But if you're going to be like the other guy who builds it on the beach in the quicksand, you get one tidal wave, what happens? Knocks it right down.
All washed away.
Because your foundation is on humanity, and your TikTok account, and your Bitcoin went down 1,000% or some shit. I mean,
that's right though. People's foundations, and they have to build a foundation, and they root themselves in the world, the fallen, broken, dying world, and you will die with the world. And the idea of dying in your sin, and the world itself has no wisdom. It has no healing. It has no salvation. But people are spending their whole life circling about in this rat race in this dying world, trying to find, like you said earlier, that fulfillment and that true foundation. Well, it's not here. You can go anywhere. You're not going to find it.
Right. You can't go buy it.
Oh, I'm good. You go ahead.
No, I'm just saying you can't buy it. You can't go to the store and get it. It's nowhere. It's
the material things. It's like if you have a flat line and you get a new car in your house, it's a little blip and then it just goes flat again.
Yeah.
I mean,
things grow old,
Yeah. Yeah. But and you look at when you grow in your faith and grow in Christ, like, the thing that gets old more and more is just everything the world has to offer. And you realize you need it less and less and less. Mm-hmm. And as that goes on, you're closer and closer and closer to God, and you're further and further and further from the world. And life gets a lot more simple in that context. You're not insecure as much. You're not chasing people's approval. You're not chasing material things. You're not chasing the job title in order to impress the bigwigs at the office. You can go play golf with them and brag to your friends that you hung out with the CEO, and junk like that, this meaningless money, this meaningless junk. Because I mean, at my age now, I'm going to be 42 next month. I've kind of come to the realization that this world just simply, and it's not a bad attitude or anything. It's the hard lesson learned that this world itself, by itself, doesn't have much to offer. And all the things that people prop up, like drinking, partying, sleeping around, doing drugs, buying things, chasing money, job titles, like I said, that's all anyone talks about. And it's just like, that's it.
Yeah.
Getting hammered off your favorite liquor, and then hugging the porcelain throne all night and puking on yourself. That's that's what we're after. You know what I mean? Getting high and taking a bunch of pills and doing all this, and burying your issues to try to just forget about your problems for a little while.
Yeah.
I mean, that's sad. That's not.
My favorite thing is when they combine them. The drinking, the watching the Broncos, and throwing a brick through the TV because they lost. There it is.
Because that matters so much if the Broncos.
Well, yeah, but you see how it is. You see what it is. There's people. That's their religion. I mean, imagine if people got up and acted like that for God.
Well, of course. Of course.
Just saying, it would be a little bit a little bit better. That's why we were talking about last week with the skillet stuff. It's like if there's a way for people that wouldn't normally be into like secular kind of music and gospel music and that sort of thing, and there's a way for people who listen to like harder stuff for a band to come out and play a super godly song like "O Come Emmanuel," then yes, do it. Great. This is what people need to do is bring more stuff out like that and get people's blood pumping for God. With that, dude, I get more out of that skillet version than I would from the regular song because it's the kind of stuff that calls to you a little more. Everybody has different variations of music that bring them in different ways. People that talk, you could go and man, in my church right now, I can think of one pastor who nearly puts me to sleep. I can put another one where I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm serious. And it's no offense to the guy who almost puts me to sleep. He's doing good, but the guy who puts you up and the guy who's into it and you can relate to it and gets you wanting to learn more about the Bible and gets you wanting to be more faithful and do all these things, there needs to be more of that without there being Joel Osteen smiling. And we have to have our one Joel Osteen dig a show. So if you don't like it, sorry.
I mean, hey, truth is the truth, and the wolves are everywhere, right? So,
Yeah. At least one dig.
but that's what it is, and this is certainly not this isn't like looking down on people that are insecure.
No, I mean it's gonna be perceived that way when it's
no matter what you say, and that's fine because we didn't have a whole section of our video here talking about our own insecurities. Oh wait, yes we did. We cut that part out.
Yeah, carefully edited to show other people.
Well, some people would. I think they would just rather do literally anything than have a little bit of self-analysis.
Of course, it's easier to sit there and analyze somebody else and what they're doing. Now, we've done that to a point. We haven't really done that on somebody specific.
Well, but we're still including ourselves in.
Exactly, that's the difference.
We use ourselves as the example.
Everything comes back to it relating back to us because we've done all these things.
Correct. Yeah, we're no better than anybody at all. It's sharing the lessons learned and what actually matters. But again, the hardened heart, the people that are self-obsessed, are easily offended.
Well, it's the people who think they have a moral compass by calling it out like that. Specifying to one person, this or that,
Well, yeah, I would never do something like that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, if we sat here and we said, "Oh, we've never done any of this. Shame on all of you for doing that," then okay, I can see why you'd have a problem with that. But
all have fallen short of the glory of God, and that includes us. And
right, we're the first two in line. So,
right, yeah, I mean that's a daily thing, and but even explaining all that is silly because people are going to take it how they want to take it, and people love to be offended, and it's weird how our minds can work where we're offended at what someone says who has a belief structure that we don't believe at all, but then in the same breath we're cool with aborting children. That's not offensive.
No.
So it's just like, Christians don't really need we don't have to explain ourselves.
No.
Because we're not going to convince, and we're not trying to convince. We're not trying to sway minds or tell you what you need to do. That's for you to decide. You take what is said at face value, and people are going to do what they want to do. So.
Here's the road. You can take it. You can not. It's up to you. All we can do is sit here and give you what our experience is, what we see, and what we've learned from how we've gotten to the point we've gotten to with our faith, and that's it. That's all we can do.
That's it. And what would be evil is if people like you and I didn't actually share our own.
That's the most evil thing. Yep.
To honor God and give glory to God and prove His goodness. Well, prove or hopefully show or lead people to Christ, because as John 14:6 says, as I said earlier, he is the way, the truth, and the life. No one does the Father but through him. He is the answer. He is the only answer. He's not a answer. He's not a way like
No,
Oprah.
he is
the
the
way.
answer, the only way. One way,
Right.
the only way. There's no
Right.
other way.
Well,
So-
and I think what people fail to realize too is, as a Christian, you probably do get more storms and hardship than a non-Christian generally. But in that, you have the fruits of the Spirit, one of those being peace.
Mhm.
No matter how crappy our lives can get, and hard they can get even as Christians, you can still have peace if the world is on fire around you.
Sure.
And because there's no peace in the world. People always say, well, I'm just searching for happiness and all. That's nice, but joy and peace and self-control and kindness, the fruits of the Spirit, things like that, those are of God. That's why they're called the fruits of the Spirit. It's the fruit of having God in your life. Angry people that are constantly angry and insecure about everything, that have no self-analysis and no self-awareness, that just rag on others, they have no peace.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how anybody could do it right now, not having the type of faith that we have. I mean, imagine being all the stuff that's going on now between
Mad about
AI
everything, mad about this, and the
and
next day
Palestine and Hamas and all this crap, and
Yeah.
the Democrats. Oh my God, they're psychos. Like, I mean, all the things going on. Imagine living in that world with like thinking this is it, and saying, oh, this is why they're so, like hypersensitive, and everything gets to them, and they worry about everything, and they have all these things that we talked about the other day, where we talked about, oh, I need a pill for this, I need this, I have anxiety, I've got bipolar, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. You want to know why you're all that? Because you don't have faith.
Correct.
God,
because when
you don't have
when
that
you're
blocker.
only,
You don't have the blocker.
Yeah. Well, when your only path to validation when an individual believes that their only path to validation and purpose is found in this world,
You're screwed.
Like you just said,
Yep.
I would be full of rage, and I would be angry, and I'd want to blame everyone else for everything, and I'd want to be probably burning cities down too, because this is it. Oh my gosh, that's pretty scary.
Yeah.
And the only validation I can get is in this world and so that's why I've got to demand that people call me this pronoun. I've got to demand that people do this and do that, and I gotta, if you say something I don't like, I have to pivot and call you a name, or I can't go to Thanksgiving if you vote it differently.
Right.
It's just
half
like
my family's one side or another. I can't go to. It's
like
that's how ridiculous.
But they never achieve peace. They never achieve joy. They never achieve healing. They're incapable in some retrospect of love, true love.
Yep.
Agreement with somebody does not equate to love.
No,
you don't agree with me, you don't love me. Well, no,
that's actually a form of hate, because if you get the whole "you do you, boo," that's code for I hate you. Just do whatever the hell you want because you're bugging me.
Especially when you know the truth and you tell them to go do it anyway, and you know it's harmful to somebody.
One of the jobs as a Christian, which we've said many times before on this show, is to tell you not only about God, to tell you not only about Jesus, but to tell you what's going on in the world and what you're not seeing because you got the blinders on.
Yes. Spiritual blinders. It's called a veil over the eyes. They are blinded.
Right.
And that's why you can say, well, say my wall here in my house is painted, white. They say, no, it's not. And they believe, no, it's not. Like, well, no, it is. That's a fact. But, and it's sad.
It is sad. It's very sad. But we can
People would rather have that self-made righteousness than peace. But if you believe that you are righteous and you earn that, and that you're right, and that you demand things of people and all this and that, it's like you're never going to achieve righteousness on your own. You're never going to achieve peace on your own. It's not possible.
No,
it's impossible.
No. It'll just get worse.
We're selfish beings, and every motivation you have then is to fulfill self.
Mm-hmm.
That is the opposite of what God says. We're called to humble ourselves and die to our flesh and crucify our flesh. And this flesh, the selfishness, is to die. That's to die. Mm-hmm. We're supposed to give that to God. We don't want that. We live for Him and loving our neighbor and others now.
Yep.
So when you're doing the opposite, the more you try to feed into yourself, of course you're miserable.
Well, this is part of the love thy neighbor thing too, because again, how terrible would we be if we knew all this and we didn't say anything? We didn't share any of it.
You're perfect.
No, it's mine. You can't have it. It's mine. You know, that's worse. That's worse than any reaffirmation that somebody would do when you're trying to burn down City Hall because Trump won the election. That's worse than that. You know.
Well, and that's the thing is, when you're constantly pinning a hard life that you have on somebody else, what happens if that person's no longer around, or those people go away, or oh, it's all my grandfather's fault? Well, when he dies, or he does die, who do you blame then? Where? So it's a never-ending chasing of the tail,
right?
You know, and so that's
look in the mirror.
Well, people don't want to be humble. People want to get affirmed and get their way and have everybody.
They will be, because every knee will bow. They will be. At one point or another, they will be.
Yeah, well, whether they like it or not.
Really have it just won't go your way. So, all right. Well, good talk as always. We'll go ahead and end it here. Next week,
fast. My gosh.
Yeah, I know it's an hour and 11 minutes already. So, not sure what we're going to talk about next week. We'll probably think of something. I don't know yet. We'll talk about it.
Oh yeah, we'll come up with something.
Yep. Oh, you know what? Next week might not work. We got a super busy day. We may have to wait until the week after.
So, okay, that's fine.
I'll talk to you about it, but we'll talk about it. So.
Okay.
For everybody that joined, thanks for checking it out. Hope you guys learned something, and we'll talk to you later. Bye. Every time I hit end stream, I mean.